We in here tonight, baby. How we doing tonight, guys? Welcome in to another episode of Going Hard in the Paint. Your boy JT here is your host, guys. We got the wonderful panelists with us tonight. My man Herb, my man Daniel Pettey. We had a 1-in-1 week last week. A little bit of craziness. And before we get into it, because I know I saw some people on Twitter already talking about the loss. And, you know, already kind of I seen a couple people even doubt some stuff already. I'm like, all right, pump brakes. All right. Tough loss. We're all right, though. Pump brakes. But, Pettey, before we get into all this, actually, Herb, tell me how you doing tonight, and then we're going to let Pettey go. And then, Pettey, I want you to tell us about the main sponsor when you do yours for us, brother. Herb, how we doing tonight, brother?
It's just like the Alabama team. I'm 50-50, half feeling good, half under the weather. Oh, man. You know, it's Can I just say this real quick, too? For those of y'all who are sweating one loss, this isn't football season. The team's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be just fine. Pettey, how we doing tonight, brother?
Doing great, man. That's what I'm saying. Look, Tennessee, hadn't lost a game, goes down to Florida and loses by 30. They come back and win. They hadn't lost since. Hey, we said this a couple weeks ago. Put on your big boy pants because the SEC is going to be brutal. Look, Florida beats Tennessee by 30 at home and then loses to Missouri the same night, you know, as Bama drops the Ole Miss game. SEC basketball, man, it's not going to be for the faint of heart for the next few weeks.
It is not at all, guys. And like Pettey said, like Herb said right there, one loss is basketball and one SEC loss. I know we've lost other games. There's 3 losses total, but SEC loss. That's what we're looking at right now, guys, going forward. Not saying those other losses don't mean anything, but yeah, so not going to hold as much weight as these next ones if we take any more L's to the January and the February, you know, right here in the next couple months. So before we get into everything, though, guys, and everybody in the comments, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Shout out to you guys. If you have questions, concerns, anything like that right now, drop those. We will star those. We'll come back on the back end of the show. We'll talk about all the questions, concerns you got. Make sure you're also liking and subscribing to the channel, guys. We just hit 13,000 subscribers here on the Bama Standard. Now, that right there is nice, all right? And that's a lot of hard work from a lot of individuals on this channel. So thank you to everybody on this channel, Pettey, Herb, everybody else across from Monday to Sunday. No matter what you do on this channel, thank you. You guys are awesome. We're at 13,000 subscribers. That's awesome. Real quick, before we kick it off, though, Herb, let the beautiful people know what they need to have slinging around at Coleman Coliseum. What they need, brother.
You see it in the background already, right?
See it. And I see Pettey with it.
You already know that one travels with me everywhere I go. Look, multi-purpose, all right? When you're at Texas A&M, and you want to cheer, you know, maybe not cheer through every free throw because your probably arm will get tired, but maybe take a little break, but cheering for the team. Or, hey, when you're watching us play Ole Miss, you need to dab away a couple tears at the same time, too. It's multi-purpose. With multi-purpose. Those guys are great guys. Like I said, personally, text them when you need some. They've been good to us, good to the show. Appreciate it. Love the product, man. Grab your title towel, man. You always got to have it.
Good time.
Grab it today, guys. It's good in so many uses, like Herb just said. If you got a tear coming down, boom, you grab that bad boy. No tear hits the ground here. Okay. Pettey, let the beautiful people know if they need some stone in or around their home to make it just pop, make it look a little better. Maybe you got a guard, maybe you got a little project you want to do. Pettey, let the beautiful people know where they can find this product at.
Man, they can find it at realrockstone.com. One Lambstone company, other company that helps keep the lights on here. And I'm going to get back to that. Like you said, 13,000 subscribers. That's a big thing. If you want to come advertise, let some people know. Come advertise.
Yeah.
We'll get your name out there. I think JT's got a few followers on the socials. We'll get you out there. We'll get you advertised. With that said, though, got to give a little love to Lambstone. We go hard in the paint. Well, they go hard with the natural stone in or around your home. Have you ever dreamed of having beautiful natural stone in or around your home? Well, don't settle for subpar material. Check out Lambstone Company's selection of natural stone products to meet any of your project needs. They are located in Aniana, Alabama, and is one of the oldest, most trusted sources in the state. So contact them today and tell them we sent you using the promo code the Bama Standard to get 10% off your purchase of stone. So check out Lamstone Company today. And if you've got a business out there wants a little advertising, come give us a shout. Let's do a little talk.
Yeah, what Pettey said, guys. If you got a business or you know somebody that is trying to grow a business or they're looking for a different audience to branch out to, guys, we have shows Monday through Friday on here.
Tons of people.
Or Monday through Sunday. I think there's like one day we don't have shows on, but we post videos all the time. We shout out to our sponsors a lot, and we drive a lot of people to their pages and stuff. So, yeah, but hit us up, guys. Hit us up here. All right, switching gears there. I do want to keep that Carlos question. We'll come back to him. That right there, well, not a question, but what he said, I like that. We're going to pull that up for when the Ole Miss comes around. Yep, start that one. We're going to come back to that one, brother. I like that, what you said right there. I kind of get that. We're going to touch on that when we get to the Ole Miss segment. But right now, we're going to talk about Texas A&M, a little brighter note of the weekend right here. Alabama versus Texas A&M is a top 10 matchup. The Tide looked good. 94-88. The score looked a little bit closer than what it actually was. We were talking about that before we came on. Pettey said, hey, guys, Bama's going to win by 20. We were just pushing away, and then they made a good run to kind of make it look a little bit better there at the end. So it was good. Mark Sears, 27 points, 3 double-digit scores off the bench. Chris Youngblood coming alive, baby, coming alive. I love seeing him Saturday with that. Herb, start us out, man. So, how did you like Saturday night's game?
Well, first off, no basketball game should take 3 hours without overtime, and there's just no way there should be 88 free throws combined. I was looking back at Texas A&M. They had 52 free throws combined against Texas. We're light years above that, and they that's just a crazy, crazy stat that you can see. But what I liked was us, we crashed the boards hard on them. We out-rebounded them. That's I think only the second time that happened to them all season. Yeah. So playing really well, playing through the physical play. It's hard to get a rhythm in a game like that when they're blowing the whistle every time. So I was still impressed at how many points we scored. And then I know, Youngblood had a good game. I'll leave that one. But Mark Sears ends the first half with 15 points. His first bucket comes with 6:35 left. That was the crate because I'm watching and I'm like, Sears isn't shooting a lot. He's kind of letting the game come to him. And then they're like, yeah, Sears ends the half with 15. I was like, 15? But that just shows you what kind of player he is and how explosive this offense is, that you don't need much to get those point totals up. So I was impressed by the team. Playing through that and playing through officiating like that is just not easy.
So I was watching the game, obviously. I also, if you guys don't know real quick, we're going to try to work on this. It's something I'm going to try to work on. But I do a lot of prize pick bets. I had a bet on Sears. It was like 22.5 or 23.5 points and assist. And so I'm looking, I'm like, dang, he only had two. And it was like 2 assists most of the first half. Right. So I'm like, I click out of it. And like you said, I'm sitting there watching the game. He hadn't taken a lot of shots. Little do I'm not even like fully paying attention. He keeps scoring. I look back at it. I'm like, oh my God, he already hit almost. I'm like, it was like 6 minutes left. I'm like, what happened? I'm like, bro had no points, but then he has 15 points. So college basketball is something that can happen very quickly. And I know this guy does not play for us, but Cooper Flagg is a phenom in college basketball. I watched him do something similar to that the other day. You were talking about with Sears, and I'm putting him and Sears on that level of like these guys can score. Like it could be 30 seconds and they can drop point after point to keep up whatever they need. I get, letting the game come to you. But Daniel Pettey, man, let us know how you feel about the Texas A&M game Saturday night. And I think that was a good one, actually. So let us know. Break that down for us, brother.
It's a road SEC win against a real good team. A&M, then goes on the road and gives at Kentucky all they wanted. And they're doing this without their top guy. Buzz Peterson's a hell of a coach. It was good to get that big lead where again, they made a run, but it was a run after a game that you had a comfortable lead in. And I think the key thing is you're seeing Youngblood. I know that's what we're going to kind of harp on tonight.
Yep.
He's really getting comfortable in the offense, man. And I was wondering, in a team that has the depth that Bama does, not with just Sears, but Holloway and then Byline in the guard spot, how is he going to come in and find his minutes, and would he be able to get comfortable this quick? And man, he's done it quicker than I expected. I really like his size, his physicality.
Yes.
That'll play in the SEC. So that was even in the Ole Miss game, Youngblood's kind of the shining moment of the week for me, because it, again, in what's going to be a very rugged SEC where you're going to be battling, he's got the body and the physicality, and obviously got the swagger to do it, man. The kid can play, and he's showing it a lot quicker than I expected. So again, I'm cherishing every SEC win, and I know we'll get to that with the Ole Miss game. But any SEC win, especially on the road, that's chalk that up as a big time. But I don't want to. I expect Bama to win more than they don't, so I don't want to make too much out of a road as woohoo, we're winning one. But no, man, as you see, we cherish it. Every night in the SEC is going to be a dogfight. So even that night in College Station where you play for 3 freaking hours and grind it out. I think Sears even said he remembered playing his last game his first year out at College Station and losing. That's just a tough place. And I think, and these were 2 real physical games back-to-back for Bama, where I think Coach Oats even said it, some bout out at Texas, playing in Houston, Texas A&M. These are just bang-em-up games. So, again, these are games that are going to help you along the way. Win, lose, or draw. Both these you can – and I'll be honest. I heard someone else say this. I'll say this when we get the Ole Miss game. Well, I'll jump ahead. That's my thoughts on A&M. I'll give my Ole Miss thoughts later.
All right, so you'll kick us off on the Ole Miss right there. So put a button on this one real quick, guys. Alabama dominated Texas A&M in a recap right there. Yeah, they didn't have their star player, so we should have did what we did. They looked a little bit better there at the end of the game. So gotta hold in right there. Make sure we get that all the way. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I see a couple more guys commenting in the comments. Guys, thank you guys for joining us for the show tonight. Stay tuned. We got more coming. We're going to go right into it. Alabama versus Ole Miss recap, guys.
I got to step away for a minute. I'll be back when y'all
go ahead.
When y'all finish.
I can't talk about this one.
That man Herb don't want to talk about this one. But you know what? We got to, guys. It isn't like it's football, end of the world. But it did show some things. Very flat play. Nate Oats referenced in the loss of unmotivated, not being motivated, unmotivated, however you want to word that there. And when you're not motivated, what does that mean? Did we not prep? Did we overlook them? Were we looking ahead for Kentucky? Saturday? Yeah, we'll get to that next. That's the next one. We're going to preview that. But are we looking for that right now? What are we doing? So there's a lot of questions there. A lot of stuff happened in that game. Bama had 39 rebounds to Ole Miss's 37, so it's pretty even there. Bama 25%, Ole Miss 28% from the 3 line. But when you look at the field goal shot attempts here, Ole Miss had 70 attempts to Bama's 47. They're getting shots in. They're rolling in, and we're not as much. And Daniel Pettey talked about this before we got on. I'm gonna let him kind of take it after this. They were letting Bama shoot the 3. They were like, hey, take it, but you're not getting in this lane and getting no easy buckets. And they came ready to play. So Pettey, break this Alabama Ole Miss recap down for us. There's a lot of things that happen here. Hit us with it, brother.
I mean, the stat of the night, outside of what you said, the disparity in shots, was the turnovers. I mean, Bama had 21 turnovers, and you get 8 shots from the best shooter in the SEC in Sears, and Byline only scores 2 points. That's a recipe. You just don't expect that, but I equate it to a lot of the SEC games where you see an underdog come in against a better offense, a dynamic offense, which Alabama's the number 1 offense and the scoring offense in the country. What do you say? Well, you got to keep that offense on the sideline. We're going to keep time of possession. Well, that was Ole Miss's intent. Like, we're gonna limit Bama's possessions. So when you are a dynamic offense and you're not getting as many shots as you're used to, the volume shots, you start putting that pressure that I got to make every one that I take. And then it just and then you start missing some. And look, basketball is a game of, momentum and everything else. You're not getting as many shots. You're not making them. changes your dynamic. Like you said, you start playing a little flat, and it's just the game kind of gets away from you a little bit. And I believe that's kind of what happened. Ole Miss, and like you said, Ole Miss is dynamic of a 3-point shooting offense. Bama is. They're the highest percentage 2-point shooting offense in the country. Ole Miss was like, well, we're not going to let you get to the hole. We're going to give you the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Stick with it. Well, Sears hit a few threes in the first, and they kind of just stuck with their game plan, and eventually it worked. And again, it was a perfect storm. You got to give some credit. I didn't give enough credit. This Baird at Ole Miss, and this is the SEC's nasty, man. You've got
it's deep.
Now Baird took Texas Tech to a Final Four. This guy's a hell of a coach over there at Ole Miss. It's not historically a good basketball program, and now they've got a top end coach. It's the bear that is this league. But I'll say this, man. I know he said he was talking to the team through the media, but I promise Oats put his head on that bed and was like, I'll take this loss. That's not I can work with this because I can it's early in the season.
Yep.
And I can use it to this is a great teaching moment for my team. So you're going to lose and do it before Kentucky because now I can keep going in Kentucky. You go pop Kentucky's ass, and this loss is completely forgotten about.
That's what
boom.
So, boom.
Take this Ole Miss loss as a learning. The pill sucks to swallow the night of, but it might be a pill that turns into something better down the line.
Yeah. I think it will. And like you just alluded to, Alabama versus Kentucky this week, and we'll talk about that next. But that's 11 a.m. game. It's an early game. Bama has plenty of time to turn it around there. From said the comments, he said, I was wrong about Bama maybe losing 2 SEC games. Probably going to be more losses. So
I think we thought it was going to be more than that, though, to start.
And also, even if so, that's what I'm just saying, don't take this. It was 10 points. And 10 points in basketball isn't crazy loss. It's a couple possessions. Bama should have did better. We played flat. We did not have a good game at all. Run that game back. I think it's a little bit different. Obviously, basketball is way different from football when you talk about those dynamics. But hold tight because I think we needed this. Pettey just said it. You're not going into the Kentucky game with this big head now. It just got popped. Yeah, we're normal side. You're humble. We're very humble right now going to the Kentucky game. We're the phenom team. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm Bama. I think it's not a bad thing. Herb, real quick, knock this out. Put a button on this one. I know you probably don't want to talk about it as much, but give us your thoughts, man. Even if it's an emotional thought, give us your thoughts.
I got my towel. I'm okay. I'll be all right. So I'm going to tell you I was still working when this game tipped off on Tuesday night. And we're in an attic, and my buddy's up there, remember some stuff. I'm like, oh, man, we just missed the start of the game. I look, it's like 15-40, it's like 4 minutes gone in the first quarter. I'm like, it's 4-2. I'm like, 4-2? Oh, man, we must be shooting terrible. I go and look, we're 1 for 2 from the field. So we had 2 shots up in 4 minutes. That's not, that's a bad 1 minute for us. And I go and look, and we've got 6 turnovers. And that just pretty much told me the way the rest of the night went. 21 turnovers is just ridiculous for any game, for a college basketball game. We've known that something that's plagued us this whole time, but if you're going to come out unmotivated, not hitting shots and turning the ball over, it's just the perfect storm of a team. And I'm always disappointed when you come out flat at home. That's what the crowd's there for. That's what builds behind you. Flat on the road, I get because, okay, you traveled, you got off the bus, you weren't in your, whatever. But flat at home just always bothers me, And I know there was a little flu rumor going around, whatever. That's stuff you got to fight through, man. Though as tough as this league is, dropping a game like that at home just hurts. But, you are talking, the number 2 SEC defense in the SEC, 31 in the country. So I get it. It was going to be that type of game, but it still hurts. And watching them throw the ball all around is awful as well.
Turnovers,
but I get the overlook factor there too. It's a team you beat by 40 last year in a game that wasn't really competitive, and you got Kentucky up. You've been rolling. You're coming off a road trip. I get the malaise a little bit. So again, perfect storm for Ole Miss to win, and for Bama to kind of get caught. But again, at the end of the day, I think this is going to be a better thing for Alabama and Coach Oats to use,
I agree with that. Yeah.
I
think
too.
they'll be fine. Don't take my, like, oh, this sucks right now. That's living and dying off every win. It's basketball season. Like, we were great in conference play last year, and we go to the Final Four. So I think they're going to be fine. And if you're going to have a game like this, you definitely want it earlier, sooner rather than later.
Yeah, you definitely want it early in the season, and you definitely want to go ahead and get it out the way, learn from it, so you can add, whatever you got to add to it. Cat said, Youngblood is looking more and more comfortable, though. Yes, he is. And, Cat, we're going to talk about that man here coming up shortly. Before we get to all that, though, Herb, one last time, let these people know who we're sponsored by, what they need to have, and also what you was wiping down on when we lost on Tuesday night.
Hey, it's you can cheer when we're going. You can dab a couple of tears real quick. It's multi, but this thing is not falling apart on you. Look, it is there for your best moments and your worst moments. Your title towel, buddy. Support the team. Show like I said, Whitwell, show them some support, man. Great guys over there, great product. And you already know that. I'm not even lying. You've already seen it. I take it everywhere. You're not going to catch me without one in my car, one on me, whatever. So love the product. And you catch me out, I'm liable to give you an extra one if you're nice to me.
And if you order right now and call the 1-800 number right at the bottom for 2 separate payments of $19.99, you can get a signed autograph one right now from that man Herb sitting here right now. Hit the lines, guys. They're ringing up.
I mean, it might devalue it a little bit, but hey,
and if
I'll
you
do
call
it
before the end of the show, we'll have JB send one signed.
Wow.
That's good. And for just a total of $5,000, you will get Justin Riley online right now, live interview. That's good. Fun stuff there, guys. Oh, man. Make sure you get your title towers. Hit Whitwell Sports up, guys. And them guys are awesome. They help keep the lights on here along with many other stuff. And if you guys, like we said earlier in the show, if you guys know somebody or yourself has a small business, they're trying to get people out there, send them our way, contact us, and we can help them out. And we can get their name out there and their business out there. So, guys, moving on. Alabama versus Kentucky preview. This is going to be a Saturday game, 11 a.m. tip-off. This is going to be a good one here. I was breaking down some of their player minutes. I like to look at this when we go to play a team because Alabama's is spread pretty well when you look at minutes for players. We got a lot of minutes. People are playing a lot of minutes. Kentucky, not far off from what we have. They have like 6-7 guys right now, 20-plus minutes. So I think that's good. And when you're looking at double-digit scorers, they have 5 of those averaging right now. So they got some guys that's scoring. We're kind of right there in the same boat, too. So Alabama, Kentucky looks pretty evenly matched right here. And if you're looking at the a lot of people go by like, well, what are they? What's the spread? What's this? What's that? Right now they're giving Kentucky the slight edge. Kentucky's pretending to beat us at a 52% right now, slight edge. So I think it's going to be one of those games where Alabama's going to have to show up to play in Lexington, and they're going to have to show up ready to play. There's going to be no BS. You can't get out here, get warming up. You got to come hot this game. We got to be ready to play from the start to the finish. I think this loss on Tuesday night is going to elevate Bama to be ready at 11 a.m. Herb, let me know what's your thoughts on this Alabama-Kentucky 11 a.m. game. Do you think there's something that Bama needs to do? Is there something we need to focus on? What's your thoughts?
Well, you kind of hit on it already. Tennessee. Kentucky's a team that kind of does spread it around. What are we, number 1 in the country? They're number 3.
They're right there with us.
Yeah, You look at their minutes and their scores. Like Mark Sears is second in the conference, right? But our next person is Grant Nelson at 32. Kentucky has 3 guys, right in that mix, right above us. I think 17, 23, 26. So basically, they're not going to come out there with one guy. They're going to spread it around. They're going to hit you up there. They also play slightly better defense scoring-wise than we do, too, as well. And then, we got mollywopped last time we played them, right? Was that last year? So yeah, there's a lot. You got to be careful. They are our tough team, at home. They can put up points, can also play a little defensive game on you as well. You can't this is not a game that you can come out flat in, or you'll be down,
No.
10, 12 points in the first couple minutes. So you've got to play a controlled game. You got to cut down on the turnovers in this one. But if we shoot better and we score, we can hang with anybody. But we've got to play our game in this one. And I think Kentucky is be just – you saw the Florida game. I think they'll be perfectly content to get out and run with us and score as well. So this could be definitely be a fun one.
This will be a real good one here. And like you said and I said too, they spread the ball around a lot. Pettey, what's your thoughts on this Alabama-Kentucky 11 a.m. matchup, brother?
Man, I like it. I do. I like I said, I feel like we're going to get a more focused Alabama squad. And I like, look, I know what Bama's number one scoring offense at 89.5. Kentucky's right there at number two at 88.7. So not even a point less. But, and y'all pointed out, they've got 5 guys in double, but their center's right there at 9.8. He's almost averaging a double-double. And so it's going to be a tough test for Big Red down low. But you just got to come out shooting and scoring. I don't think it's going to be – they are slightly better defensive numbers, but it's not going to be the test that Bama faced this week with Ole Miss or even what they faced with A&M. They're going to have more chance at shots, beyond the arc. And if they're falling, I like Alabama's chances here. And I think this team's too good for 2 lull games, to be honest. And I do think Kentucky's good, but they're Kentucky. You're going to Rupp. But I still think they're a little young. They're coming right off. They're now in the new era under.
And guess who they just beat?
Yeah, I mean, so it's still a little bit of a transition with this new. They're still a little fresh. I mean, I know it's Kentucky, but I feel like Bama's kind of more of the old hat here. And I again, it's in Rupp. I don't see Bama doing. I don't see 2 clunkers in a row out of a team as talented as this Bama team, and I like Bama to go in and pull the upset Saturday. And I know I was just great last week with my predictions, but
I wasn't going to point it out though. I was going to let you slide.
I was 1-1. I was 1-1. Just really missed the Ole Miss one, but very, very, very bad. But
and you mentioned Williams too down low. He's also third in the conference in rebounding. So, like you said, going to be a tough battle.
Yeah, he's averaging. He's almost averaging 10 a game.
Yeah.
So Kentucky just beat Texas A&M as well, 81-69 on Tuesday. So they just played Texas A&M too. So they kind of have. We just faced a similar opponent now. Texas A&M went to Kentucky to play them there. We went to A&M on a Saturday. So there's that. I like to look at common opponents. Sometimes they don't tell you everything. You can't win a game that way, but it's something, just interesting to look at. Alabama, Kentucky, if I were to put a button on that guy, Saturday lunch, I guess, brunch, however you folks call it nowadays. 11 a.m. is going to be a good one. It's always pizza time, and it can never be too early or too late for pizza and a do. Always get your pizza and a do. Watch the Tide roll.
We got to get this man a do sponsorship.
Get to the free throw line. Hit the damn free throws.
Yes, they're free. It's free. Make it count. It's free. The worst thing, and my basketball coach used to tell me this growing up, it's the worst thing ever, man. You get home, you lose a game by 1 or 2, and you miss 3 or 4 free throws.
That was Texas A&M against us. So.
Yep, I know you missed a couple of them, man, and you're sitting there saying like, "Dog, dang, like if I got to made these free throws, they're free." So to put a button on that, guys, it's gonna be a good game, guys. Make sure you tune in for the Tide there. We're gonna move to our last segment real quick, guys, before we answer a couple questions and stuff. Tide Player of the Week right here, guys. Announcement here, and our Tide Player of the Week, Herb. Let the people know who our Tide Player of the Week is, brother.
I love this one by the fact that you said, "Hey, who do we all think?" And Youngblood came up within a couple seconds of it. And you're kind of the Ole Miss game was bad for everybody, right? But I think we're kind of basing a lot more on what we saw at Texas A&M.
Yes.
I also think we've been wanting to show him some love from, missing most of the year, trying to get back in his footing. So you kind of go more on the Texas A&M game. 14 points, only plays 18 minutes, but still shoots 4 from 7 from the field, 3 from 6 from three-pointer, makes his free throws. Pettey mentioned earlier, good physical presence on the court at all times, always plays good defense. You rarely just see him out of position either, or he's not getting bodied by anybody, that's for sure.
No.
I think we all came together and said, let's show him some love. So Chris Youngblood is our player of the week.
And we did too, because like Herb said, I literally sent out a text. I was like, "Hey guys, who are you guys thinking?" And then I was gonna sent that text. I was gonna put my vote in, and I typed in, "I'm thinking Youngblood." And as I sent that, Herb says Youngblood. 2 seconds later, Pettey says, "I'm thinking Youngblood." I was like, "Well, all right."
Like I was typing Youngblood and the answers were coming in, and I thought about changing. I'm like, nah, I'll just go ahead and send Youngblood.
I mean, not the way we answered. That's it. That you stick with it at that point. We all three said that, like boom, boom, boom. So Youngblood guys, and like Herb said here, most of this is based off the Saturday game because nobody really did good in the Ole Miss game. But player of the week in 2 games, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. He was 4 for 7 from the field, 3 for 3 from the field versus A&M. That was A&M stats there. So that was really good stats for Chris Youngblood. And that's just him. That's a heat up game, I feel. That ain't a ceiling for him. The ceiling's more. He can do some more. I think that ceiling's going to be in the 20s for points in a game. And I think the ceiling, I think his floor, we've seen his floor. Now we've got to kind of get that range of where is he in the middle? Where's his ceiling? You know, what kind of game did he have? We saw Mark Sears drop 27 the other night. We're like, okay, he's cooking. Like he's getting up there. He's getting to his ceiling. He's reaching it. Not yet, but he's getting there is what I'm saying. So that's where you wanna see Youngblood just keep elevating that game, keep getting up there. We all agree on that. Pettey, real quick, man, you got anything you want to say about Chris Youngblood before we we'll wrap up the player of the week, and then we'll let Herb go too.
Just impressive to see him. Like I said it earlier, touch on it again, in a team that's loaded with guards. I live in Tampa, so I knew of Youngblood down here, and I know he came from Tuscaloosa anyway, but knew of what he was doing down here at South Florida and was following him. And I was very interested to see how he would mesh with this team. And to come out injured, so he didn't get to come out of the gate and work with him. He comes out a little bit banged up, and as soon as he hits the court, it's almost like, it was instant. So that's more than anything is just his ability to instantly come in and not only be valuable, but like are already getting serious minutes and playing time and being counted on in key stretches. So I'm just excited again with his physicality, what he brings for what's going to be such a rugged run in the SEC.
Yeah, I agree. It is going to be rugged. Herb, you got any things you want to touch on? We kind of said a few things. Is there anything you want to button up on with Chris Youngblood right here?
No, he did play a lot more minutes in the Ole Miss game. So, and to
I think
that
it was
point
like 35. I think he played like 35, dude.
Yep.
Which I was like, whoa.
Yep. And I just think with that second rotate, with him coming in with Holloway and Diabate off the bench, you still kind of are covering your bases as far as having a scorer, having a good physical presence, and having a guy down low. Those three, and they're kind of interchangeable depending on how the game goes. I think he just fits in perfectly with that. And the more he can continue to hit that outside shot, the more you're able to keep him on the court. Was it a Texas A&M game? He turned down a corner three, and he got pulled to the bench. And said, hey, man.
Yeah,
you got to shoot that. You got to shoot that. So I think, like I said, he's getting more comfortable. I'm happy to see it, man. I'm happy for him, and I'm interested to see where this keeps going. But that bench unit just continues to be solidified the better he plays.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
glad you mentioned that. I wanted that to be mentioned. Oats mentioned a player for not shooting a three. Maybe my favorite Oats move of all time.
Yeah, and I think that's what people don't understand. When Nate says that, people are like, oh, well, wow. Like some coaches will be like, I wish my players would do that sometimes. But like Nate believes in his players so much that when they have that open shot, take it, son. Like you're on the court for a reason. I have you out there for a reason.
Someone asked him about Sears taking a shot in some critical moment on a three, and he said, well, what did you think? He was like, well, I'd have been mad if he wouldn't have taken it.
Yeah, because you got to have a chance. Like you got to have the chance, and players play, and you got to. And Nick Saban said, I'm gonna allude to a football thing real quick, but it goes to basketball too here. Sometimes it's not about the play you're running or what you're doing. It's about who has the ball.
Yep.
It's about or who getting the ball, who you're passing the ball to, or So what I'm getting at with that is, man, when Nate puts these guys on the court, he's trusting them to do what they do. They go to practice. They know what to do. And also Nate's team, I mean, I think if Cliff had an open three, he better take it, or Nate might bench him. Like, he better take.
I need
to
see that
son.
shooting for him, but yeah.
But
well,
I do want to see. Yeah.
Remember the sequence against Texas A&M where Sears had to shoot 3 in a row to make one. Every time they pass it back out to him, he's like, you know what? It's flying again. So we're just gonna shoot till we make it. And everybody on the team said that's fine. We'll go get the rebound and give you another shot at it.
Shoot yourself out the slump, man. That's what it's got to happen. Eventually, you'll start hitting and get some stuff rolling. So guys, that's it. Player of the week right here, guys. We're gonna pull up some questions real quick. I'll hit one, Pettey, and then Herb will as well, and then we'll just kind of just everybody give their little thoughts real quick on it. This is a good one right here. He said Nate switched up the lineup and cut the reserves short against Ole Miss, which was detrimental. Keep your bench players coming in and out, getting experience for March. So I do get what you're saying there. I do know we had a sickness or injury. But I can't remember why Buddy was out. He didn't play. So I think part of it was that too. So that's something to look at, and that's something that'll kind of go forward. You're looking at March, talking about experience. Nate Oats is definitely going to get us ready and have experience, and our bench is plenty playing too. So, but I'm with you though. Keep an eye on that bench is smart there, brother. That's a smart one.
Agreed.
Yep. Herb, hit this one for us, brother.
That's just a tough call because of his position, his height, and his outside shooting ability. And
his role,
yeah. And I mean, if you're gonna call a spade, Sears is averaging more turnovers per game. Now, Nelson is second, but we would never say Sears is going to, right? And obviously, you're like, well, Sears is going to score more points. Yeah, well, they don't play the same position, so I just don't think it's as cut and dried as that. So I get the frustration for sure. But a 6'11" guy who can space the floor is tough to just say, there's a reason why Oates went to go get him, and there's a reason why they wanted him to come back for another year.
I agree too.
Yeah, and I think it's memory from the last game, what's freshest, and I think Nelson kind of had he did have a rough night Tuesday. There were some passes that were wild, but I think he was trying to do – what we've kind of lauded for him this year is he hadn't had to do as much. He could play more of a back off role, and it looked like he was trying to get back into doing too much Tuesday, and it kind of exacerbated what it looked like. Nah, getting back in, you can't. You maybe bench him for a second, but he's still going to be an integral part of this team when taking a deep run into March.
Agreed.
He 100% will be. He'll be a huge part of this team going in there.
I just want to throw this one up because Ephraim's trying to make sure everybody's okay.
Yeah. Don't worry. Don't worry about
especially if Broom is out for a while too. That's going to be tough for him.
And I hope that's not the case, but I don't think it's as serious as they thought the ankle injury is going to be. Yeah. And man, it didn't matter Saturday or Tuesday or when they played State. Everybody else.
That was a 20-pointer still, And to be honest, I want him healthy because I want to beat them 2 games with him. I don't want excuses.
But I do agree. Auburn's losses are coming. Everybody's losses are coming in this SEC. Auburn's not going to be
nobody's running the table in the SEC. That's a promise. Nelson, we just talked about that.
He's a skinny basketball dude. We got some of those out there.
Yeah, that happens. But there's a lot of skinny basketball guys. Look, KD, he's one of the best. I ain't talking about defense wise, but he's one of the best. Now, he ain't bad at defense, but he's one of the best scorers there is in the game ever. Not saying he is, so nobody shoot me because I know everybody's how they are about KD. Man. But he is one of the best to score. I know, but everybody says that because he left and went to Golden State, so people are all.
No, he is. And they teased him at the combine for putting on weight, but you play to what you're comfortable with.
Mm-hmm. So Zach, right here, let's see. The couple games I watched, they seem to be running with no control, just going hard and running fast the rim just to do it. I think it really depends on who you're playing, what the game plan is that night too. Some game plans are pass and dash. Some game plans are run through the pick off the screen and pull it. Some are pick and roll. Some are they play a 2-3 on you. You're gonna have to figure out ways to shoot in that zone. You ain't going inside all night if they start playing a 2-3 on you or something. I know that's weird. Some people you don't see 2-3s a lot. I know people that's kind of almost alien talk sometimes nowadays because everybody rocks man. But play a team that's really fundamentally sound and throws a 2-3 out at you like that, and you'll see what I mean. But to get on this question right here, though, man, I think it depends on what game we're playing too. The Ole Miss game, it was a little wacky for us. So, yeah, that one kind of I see that. But we've had other structured games I think we're doing pretty good in. Does anybody else want to talk about that?
Well, I think we just also have a free-flowing offense, and we penetration and kick out is a huge part of it. So that's something that they're doing.
Predicated.
Yeah. So that's going to be part of your game plan to get the threes up.
Yeah, I think it looked ugly the other night, but I mean, when it's not, when you see Fallon and Sears go into the hole and either finishing or finding that open guy for a three, it's a thing of beauty, and it's an almost unstoppable offense when you got guys as dynamic as those two getting to the lane and then with the ability to get it back out to the perimeter. So, I mean, there's nights where it can look wild and drive you crazy, but it's also the reason why it's the number one scoring offense in the country when it's working. It's almost that was going to
be my point. Yes. Yeah, you can't have the number one offense and then we lose a game and we're like, oh, this offense just isn't working. Like,
hang tight. Yeah, hang tight. Bad game.
And this is the same offense that got them to the Final Four last year. They didn't change a whole lot. They just got better players. So
I think we've gotten better. It's a better team that can make a better run.
Last one.
You're right here. Herb, wrap us off with this one right here.
It's a tough one because we are so guard oriented. So I don't disagree. I would love to see, both the big men get a couple more touches, but it's just tougher when you're guard oriented and you're shooting as many threes. It kind of goes off the back of the last question, something we've talked about for a while. Part of him getting recruited here, I feel like conversations had to be made, So is he not as polished, maybe offensively as you thought, or is it just never going to be part of the game plan? I don't know. But a lot of his looks are going to just be, from lobs and dishes inside. We're just not that kind of dump it down low kind of team.
To allude to what I just said, it's going to depend on who we're playing too. Let somebody not be big down low and watch. watch them start. Okay, because guess what happened in Alabama? And last year and previous years, we hadn't been that big down low. So when we played a big team, they went down low. They shoved it down our throat. Couldn't do nothing. So guess what Nate's about to do now that he has some weapons? If we go against a team that's shallow, like he is going to shove it. So, no Diddy, but
I was going to let that one go.
I know. I had to throw it out there for the comments got on there. But that's it, guys. We'll wrap up the show. We went a little overtime on you guys tonight. You got 12 minutes OT. But tonight was a great night. Great show, guys. If you're just joining in, wait a few minutes. Go back. Watch the recap, guys. Show was awesome. Talking about Tide Hoops, latest updates, latest news on players, too. And kind of just some, thoughts and then seeing what the fans talk about as well. Daniel Pettey, let the beautiful people know what you got going on. Let them know where to find you at and what you got going on, brother.
You can find me on Twitter X at Pettey_Daniel, and you can find me all over this fine network on Monday nights. I'm on the opening kick with my man Gerald Smoke Dixon at 7 Central talking SEC football. Always firing up my man Herb up there. Talking SEC football, talking NFL. I actually talked to little Mike Tyson this week. I have a feeling we're going to be off season. We'll be talking a little bit of everything sports-wise. You think I'm going to take it. I know we went overtime. Smoke catches hell for his hot takes because he's like, man, Smoke goes too far. He may have went further than anything he said all year that ticked off the Bama fans when he said Mike Tyson wasn't the best fighter of our lifetime. He said Mike Tyson didn't beat nothing but cab drivers and truckers or something. I'm like, dude, we can't. Anyway, that was his hottest take of all hot
takes. Is that what he said?
Dude, he went in, and now I will give him credit. You start thinking about all the guys Tyson knocked out in a minute and a half, but look, that was all off time. He fought who the number one contenders were at the time.
Yeah,
Now he went pound for pound. He said best fighter ever. Then he went away from the heavyweight ranks and went Mayweather. I'm like, well, if we're going pound for pound, we're going to have to get into Roy Jones Jr. all kind of other crap. But anyway,
I love Mayweather too, though. So I'm
hottest take of hot takes. Mayweather. He said he kind of dumped on Tyson, and I think like I said, Monday nights, check out me and Smoke if you want some hot takes that will.
Pettey, I want you to ask him this. I want you to ask him, was Mayweather's biggest win the Big Show?
Wait a minute. Now, you said that you were about to be on the show, so now you got to ask him.
I can. You're right. You're right. And I'm off this Monday, so we are going to do a national championship show, guys. So make sure you come in. I'm probably going to do a 6-man natty bet. and we're going to drop
what
a
time is
six-man.
the title? We got to go in before it. I guess my show.
Yeah, it's my gosh, 7, I believe, 7:30,
7:30, which means it doesn't start till like 8. You got plenty of time.
Yeah,
I know, TJ, that was a total joke, bro. I know that's not Floyd's big. Technically, it is his biggest win by body size, technically, because the Big Show is big as Texas. So
I like how TJ tuned in, and that's the first thing he heard. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's the first thing he heard. It's not his biggest win, no. But I did shake the Big Show. I wouldn't say his hand, but his finger, because his hand was so big. When I shook it, I was like, "Oh my god!"
When he fought Connor, and it got to like the third round, and they went to his ringside, and everybody, and he looked over at the ring, at the camera, and grinned and winked. I was like, "Ah, shit, he's trolling. This thing ain't even fight."
Yeah, dude. Mayweather's one of them, man. But Herb, let the beautiful people know where they can find you at, what you got going on. Bro.
Sorry, I didn't mean to rant on my Monday show being crazy. Tuesday, final whistle, then Herb.
Check us out. Well, Herb and Rod Jarek, we got our show Tuesday nights, like you said. After you're done watching the Bama Standard, come over and check us out. So we do our live shows. You check us out on YouTube as well. Follow us. And then on X at Raj_Herb.
Y'all hit them up, baby. Y'all check me out here on Thursday nights, going hard in the paint. On Sunday nights, talking Bama. One of the shows that show has done a lot for me. It was my first podcast, guys. And to kind of round things off here, it's been doing great, guys. Herb came on with us last week, talked some ball with us, man. He was excited. Look at him right now. Don't you see that face? He was so excited. But guys, come join us on Sunday night, 7 p.m. Central Time.
In all seriousness, man, I appreciate you guys. For sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We love having you on, brother. Love having you on, guys. And love everybody that is joining our new show, guys. Thank you guys for supporting us, liking us, and subscribing. 13,000 subscribers here on the channel, guys. Thank you guys so much for that. That is so awesome. And also, before we sign off, if you have a friend, know a friend, you yourself, your aunt, uncle, cousin, brother, if you're Steve Brown's cousin and you got a business, all right, and you need your business promoted,
that's everybody.
Come on over here, hit us up, and we'll work on some stuff. Yeah, everybody related to Steve Brown, though. Right? Everybody's his cousin. Right? You only know about that. But we're going to end it off tonight, guys. Y'all have a good night. Alabama beating the Wildcats 103-97, baby. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.